you're going to go into work and be like, dude, if you haven't seen Strange Darling, you should check it out.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
But go check it out.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Blood and Donuts. I'm Tony.
And I'm Chris. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, what's up? Here at the Blood and Donuts podcast, we start by sharing an overview, facts, and our first impressions. Then Chris and I will give our donut rating. Then we will go in a scene-by-scene discussion that is full of spoilers. But don't you worry, we'll let you know before we do that. Chris, how does that donut rating work?
So we rate our movies on a scale of 1 through 13 donuts. 1 through 4 is terrible. We're not going to recommend that one to you at all. You wouldn't want to go out every way to check that out. 5 through 8, that's kind of like a mid-range. It's worth a watch if you have time. It's not terrible, but it's not great. A 9 through 12 is great. You'll definitely want to check out a 9 through 12, even if you need to rent that thing. And Tony, 13, that's our Baker's Dozen tier. That's pretty rare. We would consider that a perfect horror film, a masterpiece, and possibly in the discussion of one of the best of all time. This week, you picked the movie, and you will go first when we rate, and we're both in the dark of each other's opinions.
Strange Darling. It's a 2023 American thriller set in rural Oregon. A man and a woman who have a one-night stand that devolves into a cat-and-mouse game of murder. This is one of those movies that really need to go in blindly, don't you?
You definitely do, especially it's almost a spoiler, even like to say there's a twist.
Yes.
Like that's kind of a spoiler, you know what I mean? Like, but I mean, you kind of have to take it for what it is. I mean, you want to go into this thing totally blind. So we'll let you know if we're going to recommend this or not here in a few minutes, but it's definitely one that you don't want to kind of do any research on. Just go in straight up.
I'm definitely glad. I was totally in the dark. We just picked this off a list and I knew nothing about it. Went in dark. I didn't see a trailer or anything. And yes, yep. I was glad I did.
And it's funny because you texted me, you're like, is this movie supposed to be scary?
Did I pick a scary movie?
I was like, where are you at? And you're like, I just started. I'm like, are the credits still rolling? Like, where is he at?
It's so funny. All right. Yeah. So it's divided into 6 chapters, but they're out of order and they're presented as like the pinnacle of this serial killer's year-long spree is coming to an end right here. You got the words coming up there at the beginning, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know.
Continued through Grand Lake and expanded across Wyoming and central Idaho before
with the narration and all. And then they toot their I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and it was shot with like this what was it, 35
yeah, to make it made it look all vintage.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it looked really good.
They really tooted their own horn there too. They like after that came up, they're like, this film was shot on 35 millimeter. They wanted you to know that.
Based on actual events. Also, we shot this with 35 millimeter camera.
Directed by J.T. Molnar. This is his second feature film following Outlaws and Angels 2016. This is inspired by classic horror tropes. Molnar wanted to subvert the final girl concept in a unique way. That's a good way of saying it without, giving away too much, but
yeah, you had to get the tropes word in there, yeah.
Opens with this huge car chase scene, and we talked about it being on 35 millimeter. It seems like a vintage movie, but it has newer, colorful digital elements to it. The colors palette was picked a lot of blues, a lot of pinks, and it seems vintage but new, if that makes sense.
It looks like it's shot in the 80s, but he's driving like a new F-150 or something.
Yeah, she's driving a vintage Pinto, and he has an F-150 that's like very up to date. It's just
brand new.
Yeah, so it's a really cool. I think Molnar had really good choices here with the way he presented the footage in a very unique way. This movie is very straightforward if it wasn't out of order. You know what I mean? Like from beginning to end, the story's pretty simple. Without going into the character development and the underlying tones of what these characters were going through and stuff, the story on just right there on the table is very simple. But the way he broke it up into chapters is really where this movie shines. Because I think it's brilliant as far as how he did that. Because and I was kind of pissed off when it first started because we were sitting there watching it. It's like,
this story is told in 6 chapters. Like, here's chapter 3, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where's 1 and 2?
Where's 1 and 2? You can't skip. Right. You can't do 6 before 2.
I'm like checking the little bar at the bottom. I'm like, I just freaking started it. Like, why is it on 3 now? But I thought that it like kind of worked really well in that aspect to kind of keep you engaged, because you're like, well, shit, what happened in 1 and 2?
Yeah.
And then it skips over to, so it goes in order of like 3, 5, 1, 4, 2, and 6. And then there's like an epilogue. So, you know, by the time it gets to like chapter 4, you're like, man, I know what happens here. But then it's like, holy crap, you don't. Like, something else happened. It's different than what you think it's going to be. So it's really, really cool like that.
Very well done. Yeah, and you have 2 main actors. You have Kyle Gallner, who plays the demon. His character's true nature remains ambiguous for much of this film. He's just a pissed off guy with a shotgun, and just, I mean, he's off to the races to get this woman, and he will stop at nothing to get her.
Yeah,
and
he is the cat in this cat and mouse game.
Yes. And who was the actress? Willa Fitzgerald.
Yep. Willa Fitzgerald, and man, the ending scene is just chef's kiss. I mean, we'll talk about that here in a little bit, but I thought it was really well done. It really creeped me out. I mean, she was in like, what's the show? It's like on Amazon. It's like the big army dude. He's in I know.
Jack Reacher.
Yeah, right.
She's on Reacher. She's the cop on Reacher.
Yeah, she's like the season 2 little short girl cop.
Are you serious? Right? Yes. That's nuts. I was wondering where I saw her.
Like, exactly. And then I finally saw like Reacher, and I was like, there it is.
You just blew my mind.
Because I don't watch Reacher, but I watch the cool little like 2-minute clips on YouTube
TikTok.
Shorts, you know? Yeah,
the wife and I started it. It's a really good show. I mean, if you have the time to put in for it, but yeah.
I've been wanting to check it out. But yeah, she's the little cop in like season 2 or something. So
that's great.
I thought that was crazy.
Yeah. It's a cool little indie film, 4 million to 10 million. We have to be careful what we talk about here. I think most of it we'll have to divulge in the scene by scene discussion. And do you have any other facts that you want to add before we go ahead and put that spoiler warning? I don't want to spoil it too much for this audience.
No, I agree. So known for his acting roles, this film debuts Giovanni Ribisi's as a feature film cinematographer. So this is like his first cinematography, like a full feature film.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a great job.
Very pretty, like cool shots. I loved it. Like I said, vintage, digital, and new age feel. Very Tarantino, this film is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looked really good. And then with the exception of the Love Hurts song, all other songs were written by someone named Z Berg. And then she also like wrote all of the other songs and performed them, with the exception of one that was sung by the director's mother.
Oh my goodness,
that's pretty cool.
Limited,
because I found myself like when I was watching, I was like, man, because I'm not a fan of Love Hurt. Like, I'm just not.
Love Hurts.
Yeah, I used to sing it all the time when we were kids. And I was like,
do you remember on SNL there was Cookie Dough Sport?
Cookie Dough Sport. When you need it most.
And they're playing football, and they're getting hit in slow motion, and it's like Chris Farley and stuff, and they're, instead of like Gatorade, they're pouring cookie dough into their mouths while they're playing football. But Love Hurts is playing in the background. You probably don't remember that, but I'm gonna try to find a clip and put it on here, because
for some reason I thought it was like a Rock or something.
It might have been, but I want to think that it was Love Hurts, but it's Cookie.
Is that sung by the same person, by the way? Like a Rock?
It is not. Like a Rock's Bob Seger. And then Love Hurts is originally Nazareth, which another girl sings it in this one. But yeah,
fantastic. Yeah, it's the Z Berg girl sings it.
Yes.
But I found myself when I was like watching this, and like other music was playing, I was like, man, that's like, it really fit. Like, it was a really good musical choices for what was going on. So that really brought me as well to like, man, I'm like in the zone in this movie. So.
I agree. And you know what? It's been a while since I was excited beginning all the way to the end with this film. Like no stops. I was wanting to watch the entire thing. My last fact is limited special effects. The film uses only practical effects. I don't think it needed much of anything else. And also there was a major river sequence that was cut because of budget constraints and led to the removal of that key scene. So I wonder
if that was a whole nother chapter or something.
We'll never know. We'll never know what that was.
The hidden chapter, the river.
Let me get into my rating. Strange Darling is a clever and thrilling film that keeps you hooked from start to finish. I just said that. When its unique, non-linear storytelling is intense cat and mouse tension, it's about as good as it gets for low-budget thrillers. This movie's very stylish and it feels vintage. Willa Fitzgerald is absolutely unhinged and toxic and mesmerizing, making her character unpredictable and captivating. The film's twists and unconventional pacing make it a very interesting watch. It's a standout for those who appreciate indie psychological thrillers. I give this a solid 10 out of 13 donuts, Christopher.
Nice, man. That's a good score. Good score for this movie. So I really enjoyed this movie as well. And it's been a while since we've done like a straight thriller. I feel like we always have like a paranormal, a supernatural or something, but this was just none of that stuff. It was just straight up thriller.
Yes.
And to even say it has a twist, like I said, it's kind of a spoiler, but I found myself trying to have fun piecing everything together.
Yes.
Even when I was like 100% sure, I'm like, oh, this happened.
Yep.
I was wrong. I think it's beautifully shot. The acting from our mains is great. I mean, I think I would love to see them in more stuff together. I thought they had great chemistry. I talked about the Love Hurts, so I'm not really a fan of that, but every other soundtrack piece really drew me in as well. It really fit. And I'm going to go with an 11 out of 13.
Oh, nice.
For Strange Darling. I really enjoyed it as well, guys. This one is worth the $6 rent that I did on Amazon. It is still $6 at the time of this recording, but I think it's worth it. Get your honey, get a bag of popcorn, sit down and watch it. No kids, but it's good for adults. Definitely check out Strange Darling when you get a chance.
I totally agree. It's worth the $6. This is a good date night movie. You need to watch this. It's a good movie, lots of good twists. All right, if you haven't seen it, like we said, go watch it. We're about to get into the scene-by-scene discussion. Here come the spoilers. About the synopsis, so the movie itself is out of order. This synopsis is in order. Is that correct?
It seems like it, because like paragraph 2 is literally like the lady who's a fact killer herself.
Yeah.
She's the electric lady, so it like goes ahead and spoils it.
Yeah, so you're gonna spoil this thing. And we did say it is straight thriller, but there is a demon that is flashed on the screen at least 2 or 3 times. So I guess that's those horror elements. You can tell that the electric lady is seeing things. She's absolutely unhinged and maybe even demon possessed.
Yeah, I didn't get that she was possessed. I just thought she was a fucking psychopath. So
that's true. That's true. But what's crazy?
Like, just sees demons.
But what's crazy is he is too. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he is after he finds out that she's the electric lady.
I think he's.
And then he wakes, he gets off the ketamine and he's like, okay, but, he's going to kill her.
I'm going to kill. Are they in love in a dark, toxic way?
Dude, I got something in paragraph 3. I really thought that they were going to pull another one over on us.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think they were in a weird way, in a weird serial killer type of way. Anyway,
I think so too.
Yeah. In Hood River County, Oregon, a woman, the lady, meets a man, the demon, and the two go to a local motel to engage in a one-night stand. Prior to renting the room, the lady explains to the demon the risks that women take engaging in such behavior and makes him answer whether or not he's a serial killer.
Are you a serial killer?
After he says no, the lady agrees to proceed and asks that she and the demon engage in a hyper-realistic, sadomasochistic role play in which he pretends to be a murderer and she's his victim. After hours of role-playing, the lady insists that the two use cocaine before engaging in intercourse, to which the demon agrees. And the lady begins acting coolly and denies the demon's sex. She reveals that she has, in fact, dosed him with ketamine, which renders him severely sedated.
He looks at her And then she's like, are you a serial killer? And he just kind of smirks. And then and then it cuts to a different scene. And then you find out that she's the freaking serial killer, and he is trying to just freaking catch up to her. So it's like a weird twist that comes like in like chapter 2 or something like that, because it goes where it starts out like this, and then it jumps over to chapter 5 where he's just chasing her, and you're like, dude, the serial killer's gonna kill this lady. And you feel bad for her, but then you're like, oh shit, I see why he's chasing her now. So it's really well done like that.
Yeah. But it opens up with this scene of, again, the Pinto and the F-150, and he's chasing her. And at one point, he gets really close. She keeps a distance in this car chase. Then all of a sudden, he just stops, pulls out a rifle, and shoots out her back window. And the only thing that the viewer is thinking at that point is, oh my gosh, this dude is relentlessly pursuing this girl.
Yeah.
This is crazy. She's wearing like hospital get up, and nothing. She's bleeding. She looks like she's been tortured already by this serial killer. And
she runs off into the woods and finds a little campsite and tries to pour alcohol in her ear to get it. It looks like her ear's been chewed off or blown off. Or something. So you're really just like, man, help this poor woman out. She needs to get away.
On one hand, she's very tough. She's pouring the out. She's like very smart in that regard, but this dude is pursuing her relentlessly. Yeah. And it shows him at this hotel, and it kind of pans down to show that he has guns in his truck as well. So you're thinking, oh, here's the serial killer's weapons.
Yeah.
Not only that, when his name pops up, it does call him the demon on there. So
so you're just like, okay, it's the bad guy versus the lady who's just a good girl.
Yeah.
And then because he's like reaching back for a beer, and then it pans down a little bit, and you can see all these weapons. You're like, oh, man.
And she does have a pink wig on too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And they're smoking a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah,
a lot.
Movies like this, I'm not gonna lie to you, they make me want to smoke. They make me want to take up smoking.
It does. It makes cigarettes look so good. They just
look so cool, man. They just look so cool.
They really do. They look so
Are you
cool.
A serial killer? He's like, what?
I feel the sexual tension in this truck.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, they're about to do this. But when they get into the hotel room, she is so frustrating. And she's like frustrating the audience. She's frustrating him. It just looks like he's strangling her with everything.
Are you talking about because she kept her bra on? Is that what you're talking about?
No, Chris. I'm just saying it looks like he's supposed to.
The frustration.
Yeah,
okay,
gotcha. You feel his frustration. She's like, I don't want to do it. Okay, we're gonna do it. I don't want to. And and he's like strangling her, and then she's like, okay, I can't do this. You're not into it. And
he's not good enough. And I'm like, dude, holy crap. He did a pretty good job. I thought.
He's flexing. He's like, and as the audience, you're like, dude, he's about to break and he's going to kill you. And at one point he does, he puts the handcuffs back on her, and he starts getting very violent with her. And he's like, no, I'm in charge now. And you're like, yeah, here he goes. And then she's like, okay, and then she says the safe word, and she's like, "You did." She's like, "You did great."
Yeah, Mr. Snuffleupagus is the safe word.
Mr. Snuffleupagus, you did great there. And then she goes and gets the drugs, and she drugs him.
Yeah, she drugs him, and then drugs herself.
Oh yeah,
but he's got ketamine, she's got the cocaine.
Oh, yeah. The lady, in fact, a prolific serial killer herself, deemed the Electric Lady by the media, carves her initials of a moniker into the demon's chest while rifling through his belongings. She discovers a law enforcement badge revealing that he's a police officer. The lady prepares to stab the demon to death, but as he regains his faculties, he retrieves his concealed pistol and shoots her ear off. The lady flees the motel in a stolen car after stabbing the desk clerk to death, and is pursued by the demon in his truck. On a rural stretch of road, he shoots at the vehicle, causing her to crash and flee on foot into the woods.
And so that's how it opens. So then to get us there, she's tried to kill him, and then she's killed 2 other people at this point.
Yep.
Maybe 3. Mm-hmm. So then you're just really thinking like, holy crap. But then as you finally see that she's actually the bad guy.
The second half of the movie.
Yeah, starting the second half of the movie, you're like, okay, well, so she kills everybody.
Yeah.
because there's a point later on, and we're about to talk about it, but damn, it makes you want to jump around everywhere.
It's so hard. It's so hard to keep it like...
It's confusing to keep it all in our sequential timeline. Yeah. We watched it out of order, and that's the best way to experience it, yes. I think. But
And so you're finding out the second half of the movie, the demon is what she sees him as, because she has these flashes of a demon. So the reason he's the demon is because she says he's a demon. And the same thing, before she stabs that nurse to death, she sees a demon. You know what I mean? So she's has these visions. She sees them as devils or demons in the way, and then she has to kill them. So pretty much like all serial killers, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how they all see other people, is as demons. But you really, I mean, it just looks like even the fact that the guy was a cop doesn't really faze her. No. She's just like, okay. And she like throws his badge in the trash can, takes off her wig, and then she's going to like, I think she's going to finish him off because she's already etched like the EL into his chest.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's going to finish him off, and then bang, gun to the ear. And it's like, okay, there we are.
And then it's a crazy thing this director does, because you're rooting for her the whole half of the movie. And then when she's about to stab him and he shoots her in the ear, you go, yeah, get her, you know? So the audience turns you on your head. Like you're like,
right.
Yeah. For the whole movie.
Protagonist. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it switches protagonists like halfway through.
Yeah. It's so really cool. It's so clever. If I was going to describe this movie with one word, I would say clever.
Yeah. I agree.
The lady stumbles upon this farmhouse of two eccentric hippie doomsday preppers. You got Frederick and Guinevere, who take her in. Guinevere goes to retrieve medicine for the lady. Frederick attempts to phone the police, but the lady kills him and forces Guinevere outside. The demon arrives on the property with his rifle, while Gwen seizes the opportunity to flee into the woods, while the lady retreats back into the farmhouse, hides in a chest freezer. The demon eventually finds her and shoots her in the arm, handcuffs her to the chest before calling fellow Sheriff Pete and his deputy Gail for backup.
All right, so here's this reveal. So while I was watching it, I looked over and I was like, what if after all of this, she's killed this couple in the farmhouse.
Yeah.
He's hunting her down with a gun.
Yeah.
What if like when he catches her, she's like, Mr. Snuffleupagus, and then like they're still into this role play. I was thinking that, dude.
Me too.
Me
too.
I was like, what if that happens, Jessica? She's like, yeah, that would be really crazy.
I was up for anything at that point. Yeah.
Even if that was at the end, I would have still loved it. Cause I'm like, holy crap. Like that really there. Cause they put that little detail in there. Like, oh, the safe word is this. And then they go on this killing spree. And then when they're finally about to kill each other, it's like, all right, we've done enough. Let's go do it now or whatever.
Yes.
Like,
I love it.
So I really thought that would have been a cool twist too, but it was really well done the way it was.
It was very well done. She stumbles upon this farmhouse in the first half of the movie, and all you see is them kind of letting her in. But it's such a weird hippie compound with speakers on the outside playing like a radio show. And it's playing it through the whole entire woods, which gives it such an eerie feeling. You feel very secluded. And the hippies are great. They have such a small role, but they're eating Sunday breakfast and just
see that breakfast?
Oh, that
dude?
breakfast.
Oh my gosh.
So much fat and so much grease and syrup and jelly and butter. And I
usually don't eat other people's stuff, but I would throw down.
I would throw down. It was definitely a heart attack on a plate, but it looked good. Oh, I agree. But the second half, you never find out what happened to these hippies, but you find out in the second half exactly what happened. It's such a cool little twist there. But he gets there, the demon. He's coming in with a shotgun. He's like, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Which you see that in the beginning, and
you see the person on the floor in the kitchen like dead, and so you think, okay, well, the demon killed, because I think even at this point when it's the Here Kitty Kitty, because that's like the second chapter that they play.
Yes,
you think that this guy has killed this couple in some house that this he's trying to hide in.
Yeah,
and then as you go along, it's like, holy crap, it's actually not that way.
Yeah, such a cool little movie. Cool twist. Yeah. The lady tells the demon that she's always hoped to die like Gary Gilmore, and tearfully confesses that during their earlier sexual encounter that she felt a fleeting moment of true love for him. She then sprays him with a can of bear spray, and a struggle ensues, during which the lady bites into the demon's neck, tearing his jugular vein, causing him to bleed to death. As he dies, she steals his concealed pistol.
And you said that was practical? Practical effects?
Yeah, it was practical effects.
I mean, it looked really good.
It looks really good.
Pumping,
yeah.
Pumping out. So at this point, our man, the demon here, he's gone.
He's gone now.
He's dead.
She has so much blood in her mouth too, and it's like, oh, dude. And she's trying to breathe, and like blood's running down, and
Did she chew it a few times when she?
I don't
bit
know.
the neck?
I hope not.
I thought it looked like she chewed it a few times and then spit it out or something.
I wouldn't put it past her.
Maybe I'm thinking VHS 2 when he's trying to chew the
I wouldn't put it past her. Yeah.
But yeah, and now that the cops are coming. It's talking about it in the next scene, but yeah, she kind of frames the scene here to kind of look like, hey, this is a bad dude. He tried to rape me and all this kind of stuff. So she kind of knows the game. It's almost like she's done this before, and it's almost, he
didn't help himself either on the phone.
Definitely not. Or he's like, hey, I'm in some trouble. I need you to come help. Only you.
He didn't give a lot of details, which he should have. So he was just like, hey, I just need your help. No questions asked. I'm in a lot of trouble. I messed up. I messed up is what he said.
Yeah. And I think that, because at that point he knew that it was the electric lady.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Because he's like, are you really the electric lady or whatever? Doesn't he ask her that?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. I think,
right. And it seems like she's a really freaking strong urban legend, or she's a really terrifying presence in this small town. Yeah. Like just the mention of her, like the cops are trembling. So it's crazy. But yeah, so it's almost like
she's killed a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, and it's almost like our demon here. He's like, he maybe didn't want to tell the other cop that it was her, so he would actually come.
Yeah.
Or something. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like she's too scary. If he knew it was her, he might not have come.
Yeah. I thought it was more like I don't know. I would in my
hey buddy, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I've done some drugs. I had a one night stand. I'm a little messed up, and now I'm in this sticky situation. I need you here to kind of clean this up for me. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's what. But you're probably right about that as well. But yeah, it just bites into his neck. He's dead, but he gives a very ambiguous like, I'm in trouble. Pete and Gail arrive at the house, and they find the lady lying handcuffed to the freezer with her. How pissed off does this lady cop make you here in a second?
She's pretty pissed off.
Yeah, okay.
That's a bit of a thing of mine.
Yes. To find the lady handcuffed to the freezer with her pants pulled down. She pulls them right before they get there. She pulls them down smartly. She claims that the demon, who is high on cocaine, kidnapped her and took her to the farmhouse to rape and murder her. Unaware that the home was occupied, Pete is skeptical of the scene and insists that the homicide unit needs to investigate before they free her. But Gail convinces him that the lady should receive immediate medical attention, in which Pete shoots Gail right in the man.
So yeah, a big pet peeve of mine in horror movies, I've probably mentioned it before.
Stupid cops.
Is cops that come in and kind of alter the story. Like it's really a bad thing of mine. Like I think that like the movie Joyride back in the day, remember with like Paul Walker and stuff, like the cops show up at the end and they're like just totally screw up the whole situation. It's like the good guys are about to win, and then here comes a stupid cop who comes and screws it up. I mean, I back the blue, but I hate stupid cops in horror movies. All right. But like the ineptitude of the whole thing too, this is where it kind of pisses me off, is like they didn't even pat her down before they put her in the back of this cruiser. Like she had like a gun on her. Like you're not even going to pat her down before you put her behind you, uncuffed. I mean, come on.
All right. The only real question I have for you: were these cops dumber than the cop from Halloween 2 who wanted to check Michael Myers' pulse?
Was it only Halloween 2, or was it like Halloween 2 and 4 and 6?
The one I remember.
I know what you're talking about in
the hospital. Yeah.
Hey, he's still breathing. I think he's moving.
No, don't go near him. And then he just like, I don't know. So yeah, you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, Dr. Loomis really tried to save that stupid cop, but he couldn't do it.
So stupid.
But yeah, it's one of those things where I would say they're not as dumb as that, but There was two of them, so they should have been able to work together and figure something out.
I was okay with it. I was okay with Pete being like, no, we need to do it this way. And then the girl's like, it's clear what happened here. Look, she's been raped, you know? Yeah. I don't know. So I
get you.
It had to get us to the end. You know what I mean? He couldn't just come in and arrest the electric lady, you know, and she bite his neck. Or maybe, I don't know, something could have happened there, right?
Yeah.
As the officers escort the lady by car towards town, Guinevere appears along on the road and flags them down, but the lady shoots her before she can explain what happened. The lady then forces Gail and Pete to give her their guns before ordering Gail out of the car. Pete drives the lady further down the road before she has him stop so she can consider her next move. When Pete asks her why she kills, she tells him that she sometimes doesn't see humans, she just sees devils before shooting him in the head.
Ooh, and I thought that was a good shot too. And I really like the acting in the movies or in this movie, with the exception of the cops. I think even the overreacting of the female cop, like as soon as she knew it was the electric lady, she's like visibly shaking. I thought that was a little over the top, but or maybe they just poured it on thick there. But I mean, I can understand being like scared and a little shaky, but she was just like,
I get
the whole thing. But I thought it was cool, and it kind of like it made the aura of the electric lady cool when it's like even the cops are just like, oh my god, it's her. Like, are you really her? Like asking her if she's really the one. So it's pretty. It's almost like if you met Jack the Ripper. Like, are you really Jack the Ripper?
Yeah. Are you really the
that
electric
would kind of scare
lady?
you.
Yeah. But Pete does have this moment where he stares at Gail, like when he's giving his gun to the girl in the back seat. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
like I freaking told you so.
I hate you. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, ugh.
Wait till they hear about this in the precinct.
Yeah. The lady stumbles on foot further down the road, and another woman driving a truck picks her up. When the lady draws her pistol, the driver returns fire, shooting the lady. The driver calls police from her cell phone, explaining that she just shot a stranger in self-defense and that she's going to bring her to the local hospital. As the driver continues down the road, the lady looks on as she slowly loses consciousness and dies in the passenger seat.
So that's all it took to take out the electric lady, huh? Some random stranger on the side of the road. Some good Samaritan took out the electric lady.
Yeah, but she was kind of badass though. She had a cowboy hat on, and she had a concealed weapon that you didn't see. Like you're like, this unsuspected sweet lady just picked up the electric lady, and she's gonna meet her demise too. But this lady was not stupid like the cop was earlier.
And the electric lady had like 3 on her at this point.
Oh yeah,
I mean she had 3 guns. She had her gun from the demon, and then the 2 cops' guns. So she was freaking loaded. I mean she had one in each pocket and stuff. All right, let's talk about the end scene.
Okay,
if we call it that, the end, the drive home.
Yeah.
So the Good Samaritan, we'll call her, picks up the lady. As soon as the lady pulls out the gun,
bam.
Good Samaritan's just like bang, just right in the gut. I mean, it's just one shot, and that's it. It's not in the head. It's just in the gut. And then she's right on the phone with 911, like, "Hey, I just shot somebody.
Yes.
Looks like she's okay, but I'm bringing her in just in case you can save her." I thought that was great. I noticed as the truck drive was happening, it looked like the electric lady was still trying to reach in her pocket, or like it looked like she thought she had the gun and she was like doing the little firing motion.
Okay.
Did you see that?
I don't think I really noticed that.
Yeah, no, because you can see it on YouTube. Like it shows like the ending shot and people talk about it. But I watched it because I kind of rewound it and watched that part again because it's one of my favorite scenes in a movie. I really thought it was well done. So it looks like after she gets shot, she's still trying to shoot the Good Samaritan.
Okay.
So it looks like she takes her hand out of the thing. She's like doing this motion where she's trying to shoot. And then she's just kind of like staring at her, trying to like talk, but she can't because she's dying.
Great acting.
And then, fantastic, dude. And I really, as the truck was like driving through the sun and the trees, you know how the lights like flicker, stuff like that. I swear her face got like pale and stuff. It was really, I don't know how they did that, but it looked freaking awesome. Yeah. And I swear it looked like her face was the face of a demon at some point.
Didn't she look into a mirror? Didn't she look into like a mirror and saw And she was like, "Oh."
I feel like she looked in the mirror of the Good Samaritan, like at the side mirror, and then like the demon flashed on her face.
She's like,
on her own
"Oh,
face.
I'm the demon."
Maybe. But that's the only time I saw a demon. Were there other occurrences?
Yep, there was a couple different ones. Yep.
Dang, okay, I must have missed them. I'm gonna have to rent it for $6 and watch it again. But yeah, I thought the ending scene was really freaking haunting. Because he had the music going in the background. Like I said,
great.
the face was changing, dude.
It was great. It was a great ending.
It stayed with me. Yeah.
It was a great ending and to a great movie. Again, about an hour and a half. It was just it was a perfect length. And I was never bored. I was always engaged and I loved it from start to finish.
I feel like this is going to be one where we look back and we're like, man, I wonder if I should have rated that like one notch higher.
You think so?
Maybe. You know how we do that sometimes where we go back on movies and it's like, man, because all we've done is say positive things. Some of my negatives were like the supporting role acting, like some of the acting was a little but the mains were just so over the top that it didn't really take anything away from me. But it was like kind of that, and
I don't know if I want to go watch it again. I don't want to own it or anything like that. Now that I know the surprise, I guess. So it you know what I mean?
Sure,
like Exorcist, I want to go watch it. I want to watch it every Halloween. Halloween 2. Like I just know there's just those ones that you just like I don't know. It's like comfort food, and I want to watch it over and over and over.
Yeah, right. And this one isn't comfort food. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This one isn't comfort food, but it is one where like you're gonna go into work and be like, dude, if you haven't seen Strange Darling, you should check it out. Yeah. Like I can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
But go check it out. It's one of those where you want to spread the movie around. But yeah, I agree. It's not really the comfort food type like a Halloween or something like that.
I'm surprised.
And not every movie needs to be that, but
that's true.
This is in a kind of a different category.
Oh, I love it.
Like, man, it was great, and I really recommend other people watch it. But I could probably watch it one more time, but.
Definitely wish there was more movies like this because it was really good.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Yeah.
And again, on a small budget too. So, but not like I'm surprised it's not in more places. I'm surprised it's not streaming somewhere. Why is it not on Hulu? Why is it not on Netflix? Because this is a good film. It had pretty good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes as well.
Yeah, it's not even on my AMC Plus Shudder that I just freaking
exactly. Why are you not on Shudder? Why don't y'all have Strange Darling? This is a good film. Man, what do we got next, Chris?
Hey, so coming up next, we've got 28 Days Later.
28 Days Later.
From 2002.
Yes.
So classic. That old zombie flick.
Yeah.
And then your next one after that picked is No One Will Save You from 2023.
Nice.
Which I've never heard about, so I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah. Trying to find another Strange Darling. We'll see if that's one, right?
Yeah. Always one in there somewhere.
Y'all, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, appreciate it.
We'll see you next time.